You're now listening to the Crucible Strategic podcast with Polanco and Ryan Reed, where we talk on leadership, strategy, and marketing, sharing how we and some of the most successful people we know take themselves and their businesses to that next level. This is not for the easily offended or the weak-minded, but for those who want to push themselves, elevate their minds, and move towards positive personal and business growth. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Albert Polanco, and I'm here with a very special individual today. His name is Daymond Sewall, the author of The Shredded Executive. He's a former Marine like myself and my business partner, Ryan Reed. He's a dedicated father of 4, and he spent the last 12 years as what you would call a definition specialist, which some of you might not know what that is. I'll let him explain that. But in layman's terms, he teaches people how to get ripped, healthy, and feel amazing. You know, the thing about Daymond that stuck out to me is that he was not always a fitness machine. You know, he knows how it feels to lack confidence and to be unhealthy and to feel insecure or go shirtless around others. He knows how it feels to be weak, which is the reason why he's so passionate about helping others to get lean, toned, defined, and ripped. You know, he calls it like it is, and his harsh words will offend the weak-minded. So I warn you now, if you have a weak mind or you're very sensitive, some of the things that Daymond says is rough. And I believe that people need to hear it like that. So Daymond, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be with us today. I'm excited for others to get to hear your message and what you stand for and how you help to transform people's lives.
Wow, thank you for that introduction. That was outstanding. I appreciate it. And I'm actually honored to be here.
Cool. So Daymond,
go ahead, shoot, man. Let's get this rolling.
So my first question with you is, you know, what got you into fitness? You know, when did that journey start for you?
You know, for me, man, this is, and I actually talk about this sometimes in my social media. This is actually all due to my my uncle, man. My uncle was one of the only male role models I had growing up. I grew up without my father around. You know, it's a typical story you hear from a lot of kids. But yes. I had like zero contact from my father. Not a call, not a card, not a nothing. And my uncle, when I was young, kind of stepped in and took on like that big brother role, and kind of was the one who stepped up and kind of started to teach me like how to be a man. And my grandfather as well. And both of them were also Marines as well too. So I'm actually 3rd generation.
Wow.
So between my uncle and my grandfather, they both stepped in to kind of, you know, raise me to be a man. But my uncle was the one who, because he was a Marine, he was the one that actually introduced me to working out and lifting weights and all those things, man. And I remember he gave me my first barbell when I was 8 years old, and I was doing bench press on the floor. and that was where the fire started, man. That was where the obsession for working out and fitness began. And then, you know, even as a kid, I was always very active. I played a lot of sports, and I used to have like little fitness competitions with my friends, you know, doing like inverted push-ups on the walls, and I used to smoke my friends and, you know, just doing all kinds of contests. But that was where it all began. It was my uncle. He's the one that gave me my first set of weights and the first one to teach me, you know, how to work out.
Wow. That's an early start. Wow. Yeah, most people.
So I have 4 boys, and I started them all really young too, man. They are all, matter of fact, my 10-year-old, man, he's been working out since he was born. I had him doing squats from the moment he came out, man.
Wow.
But I took him to like 1,000 Steps Beach here in Laguna Beach, out here where I live. 18 months, man. He was doing 1,000 steps with me. He's beast mode, man. Kid does pull-ups, deadlifts twice his body weight. Like, he's insane how fit this kid is.
Wow.
So, and I started them young too. So, but yeah, I started really young, man. So
that's, you know, some people listening to this might be like, oh my God, what are you doing with your children? And, you know, immediately what I think is like, wow, look at the example that you're setting. Where other parents are stuffing their kids' face with McDonald's and letting them sit on the couch all day. You're here training them to be fit, you know, to be healthy.
Exactly.
That's incredible, man.
And one of the big things, and one of the reasons why I do what I do, one of the reasons why when I make my like social media posts and my videos and everything, one of the reasons why I am so straightforward and why I'm always trying to influence people to eat better is really because I'm trying to save their kids. So you probably don't realize that, but I'm trying to influence these parents because I know it's their fault that these kids are being raised with disease. And there's studies that even show that the path that today's generation of kids are on, they are actually expected to die before their parents do. Because the parents of today are feeding their kids shit from such a young age.
Yeah.
These kids are developing diseases really, really young. There's a lot of kids that are obese really, really young, and they are expected to die before the parents. Think about that.
That's
why actually
incredible.
one of my next book is actually going to be a children's book that actually, you know, kind of explains, you know, obviously without all my F-bombs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little book that actually explains to kids like the importance of nutrition. And so that way the parents can actually read it with them and can actually have a book for them to read, so that way they understand the importance of nutrition. Because I believe that everything that you want in life stems from what you eat. Because if you eat like shit, you're going to feel like shit.
Yes.
You're going to perform like shit.
Yes.
You're going to look like shit. And whenever you perform like shit and you look like shit, what ends up happening is you're not achieving your optimal anything. And I find that this is especially important for business owners, man. You have these business owners that are trying to grind, trying to hustle, and they're fucking living off fast food.
Yeah.
You know, how successful do you think you're going to be when your systems are only working at a quarter of what they should be or what they could be?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these business owners, they're putting their body second, you know, because they're focusing on work. And what's happening is they're not actually hitting or reaching their full optimal levels because they're not giving their body what it needs. And if they actually reversed that, took care of themselves first, they would actually perform better. They would get better. As a matter of fact, here's a little statistic for you. I train a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners, a lot of high-level executives. And I have found, and this is actually how I got the name for my book, because I love training entrepreneurs. Love it because they're just in a whole different mindset, man.
Yes.
They're totally driven, and I love that. But I have found that when those who get in shape, okay, tend to quadruple to 10 times their income from getting in shape.
Wow.
I'm not even kidding you. And that's the average. And the reason is because it kind of boils down to this, like how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
if you're half-assing yourself, you're going to be half-assing everything. If you're always taking the easy way out and the lazy way out with yourself, you're going to be doing the same thing in your business.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I was saying, like most of my clients, their incomes take off. They start having their best years ever. They start crushing records or crushing goals and breaking records. And it's because the discipline that you have to develop in order to succeed with your body physically, and the confidence that you develop during that journey, all that transfers into your business life, man.
Yeah.
These things work hand in hand. So if you want to fucking crush it in business, crush it with your body first. You will crush it in business.
Yeah, man. I really agree with that, what you're saying there. That's true. How you do anything, I believe that's Jim Rohn who said that. But yes, that's so
yeah, I
true.
believe it's one of those guys. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
How you do the little things is how you do the big things, you know, and really your body is something that, you know, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, since I was like 12 years old, you know. I started selling computers online and stuff. And so I've always had that mentality. But I've been around business owners. I've worked for business owners as marketing directors and different jobs that I've had before in the past. And one of the things that I noticed is exactly what you said. Is like, and me myself included, right? Is I was always on the grind. I always put the business first. It's like, I got to do this. I got to get this goal. I got to get to this place that I want to get to. But my fitness was like third place, fourth place, or not even on the map, you know? And just forgetting to eat, you know, staying up all hours of the night, you know, all this crazy unhealthy stuff. And then you talk to some of these business owners and they're like, man, you got to take care of yourself. And they're like, well, I can't afford it. I got to, you know, it's like, you can't afford not to, you know. You feed yourself McDonald's, for instance. I just read something about McDonald's the other day, and I can't stand that crap. But they washed the meat. I guess there was some sort of a class action or some type of action that was going on, and it was not a big deal. I don't know if it was you who put that out there. about the washing of the meat in ammonia. So basically, it was unfit for human consumption until they wash it in ammonia.
That's how they do it. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like, you can't legally feed this to people.
But what's sad is that's not even the bad part of their food.
Oh
It's everything else that they put on that hamburger that is the bad part. The bread, the sauces, all the other shit, because all that stuff is like highly toxic and highly inflammatory and just like chemical cocktails of crap.
Yeah.
The ammonia, that's the least of your worries. It's all the other shit that's the problem.
Wow. And you were talking about how basically you're poisoning your children when you give your kids that food. It's like, would you give them poison?
Yeah.
You're giving them the same thing,
Yeah. So this is man. Look at this. Okay. If you look at like all the chronic diseases in America, cancer, heart disease, strokes, diabetes type 2, autoimmune diseases, all of these things are diet, lifestyle related things. All caused primarily from the processed food diet that Americans have. Now, the parents are starting off their kids eating these foods at very, very, very young ages. You have your parents that are like, they're feeding their kids these snacks, right? They're feeding them goldfish and gummies and all these little things, these little snacks. Why the fuck are you giving your fucking kids heroin and crack when there's no excuse for it when you can give them fucking fruit, nuts, seeds, pieces of protein? What the hell are you feeding them these processed foods for, poisoning them? And when we think of it like this, would you give your kid heroin?
No, absolutely not.
No, exactly. But you're giving them foods that kills more people every fucking year than any drug, all the drugs combined.
Wow.
And you're giving it to them every damn day. And because these foods are linked to all the diseases and our biggest problems, our obesity epidemic, all our issues come from these foods, and these parents are feeding these kids these foods.
Yeah,
it's terrible, man.
I
it's
think
terrible. And I walk around, and I live in California, and the people out here aren't as fat as people as in, say, like my hometown, like in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Texas, people are fat as fuck, bro. Every time I go there, I'm like, my God, this is insane.
Yeah.
In California, they're a little fitter, but they're still kind of fat,
Yeah.
But they're much fitter than other parts of the country. And I see all these kids that are like starting off really, really young, and they're like really obese, and they have like, and I look at like what they're eating, they're drinking soda. They're eating fucking bags of chips. And I'm like, seriously, that's the best you can do for your kid? That's the best you can do, is buy them processed shit that is going to lead them to an early grave? I mean, you parents must obviously want to bury your kids because that's where they're going.
So, Daymond, what would you do in a birthday party situation when you bring in your child to another birthday party with other children and other parents? Like, how do you handle that kind of situation?
Instead of him, so he's not feeling left out, when the other kids are eating cake and stuff, is what we do is we eat before we go. And then I actually made him some paleo pancakes, which are just made out of like eggs and like almond flour and shit. And then so that way when the kids are eating cake, he could actually have something to eat with them that's actually kind of flavorful, right?
Okay.
And so what was funny was his friends actually were eating his pancakes.
Oh, wow.
But whenever the mom was serving the kids cake, he came up to me and he's like, Dad, come here. And I leaned down and he's like, she's killing them. My 10-year-old said that, bro.
Wow, yeah.
My 10-year-old.
Man, well, that's such an awesome way to teach your children from young. Like, teach them about health, teach them about, what you put in your body. It's like, I'm an avid reader. I read like crazy. And one of the things that I like to do research on other cultures. It's like, if you look at some of these other cultures that are not attached to our food production ways, I mean, these people live healthy, happy, full lives. They're not
absolutely
because they don't have all the crap in their life.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, but
our bodies are not designed for this shit, man. They weren't designed for this shit. We're designed to eat fucking animals and protein and veggies and like real food, not this processed shit.
Yeah. So, Daymond, I heard that you wake up early. What time and why?
Yeah, see, I wake up really early, man. My alarm is set for 4 a.m. 7 days a week.
Wow.
So And the reason is, and I actually got this, I do a lot of personal development, just like you do, bro. Like
awesome.
when I'm driving, I'm listening to audiobooks. When I have free time, I'm fucking reading articles. I'm constantly always learning and constantly always improving. But there was a book, I'm sure you've heard of Grant Cardone, right?
Yes, yes.
Dude, Grant Cardone is my fucking man. Yes. I love that guy, right?
Yes, me too.
So I have all his books, right? And there was something that he said in his book, Sell or Be Sold, and it just fucking clicked. Cause I've always worked like woken up early, but it wasn't like every day. You know, it was mainly like on the days that I trained really early that I would get up, and I would get up fairly early compared to normal people, but not as early as I do now.
Yes.
And this was about 3 or 4 years ago. I was listening to Sell or Be Sold, and he said something about how when he had his daughter, that he wanted to create more time to spend with his family, so he started waking up earlier.
Yes.
And for me, it clicked, because at that point in my life, I was actually, I was hustling and grinding and stuff so hard and so long. I was working like all day, all night, and I was feeling like I was not spending enough time with my family. I wasn't spending enough time with my boys. I wasn't spending enough time with my wife. And I was feeling really guilty because of it, because I was just grinding, you know, because I have goals and I wanted to be able to provide and have like great things and great adventures and all these things. But when I heard that, it clicked, and I was like, fuck, that's what I need to do. I just need to start waking up earlier every single day, grind before the world even wakes up, before the kids even wake up.
Yes.
And then by the time that like the end of the day comes, I'm done, and then I can hang out with the kids and I can hang out with the wife, right? Yeah. So that was how it actually all began. So I immediately from that point on set my alarm from 4 a.m., 7 days a week, and just started doing it. And I kid you not, man, the amount of productivity that I've gotten from that, from waking up earlier than everybody else and being able to put in the time to do the work. And this is actually how I got like my book written, because it took me years to write that book, bro. Wow. And then the same thing with my audiobook. That took me forever to put together, because that was almost 18 hours for me to record that audiobook, from like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of takes, man. Wow. And that was how I was getting it done. I was out waking up at 4 a.m. I had no distractions, because the world is asleep still. The kids are asleep. The wife's asleep. Everybody is sleeping, and that is time to grind uninterrupted. Yes. And but that was how I got it all done. But that was actually what triggered it. Was I wanted to create more time to spend more time with my family, because I was really like, I was just grinding so hard I didn't have time for them, and I felt really guilty about that. So I'm like, I got to do something. I need to make sacrifices in some other area. So I sacrificed my sleep. So and here's a little fact for you too, and I like to tell this to my entrepreneurs too, because actually my busiest session for my business, because I train groups, my busiest hour is my 5 and 6 a.m. hours. Wow. Those are all my entrepreneurs. Those are my busiest hours. My 5 a.m. session has 24 people in it, bro. Okay. Just my 5 a.m. So, which I normally like to keep my groups around 8 to 10. Yeah. That one has 24.
Yeah, everybody's trying to get it in before in the morning, huh?
Exactly. So those are my grinders, man. They get up real early. They bang it out. I got like a very successful dentist, a plastic surgeon. I've got like a bunch of real estate agents. Like they want to get it done so they can get to work. Anyway, so here's a little fact for you. And for those of you listening, for those of you who are like thinking like, shit, I can't wake up earlier. Shut up. Okay. For number one, yes, you can. All right. Now here's here's a little fact for you. If you're to wake up, the average person wakes up at like 6 or 7 a.m., man. They're sleeping away. I mean, and they're just rushing to hurry up and get to work, right? Yes. If you just get up 2 hours earlier, every single day, that is the equivalent of getting an extra 730 hours a year. Whoa. Which is the equivalent of 30 full 24-hour days more to do work. Think about that. You get 13 months instead of 12. Wow. 13 months instead of 12. Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah.
Uninterrupted time. And that is why I've taken my business over the past few years. It's gone from like doing well to fucking crushing it. It's because I wake up at 4 a.m. because I'm able to do so much more during that time and then create more time in the rest of my day to spend time with my boys and my family.
Yes, that's awesome, man. And
So,
you know,
here's go ahead.
I was going to ask you, you know, when you stay, first of all, what time do you go to bed?
I generally 9:10.
9:10.
That's the average. Last night it was about 10:30, 11. I try and get in bed around 9, but I don't really go to sleep until about 10.
Okay.
So, because I'm usually, you know, hanging out, having conversation with the wife, you know, maybe catching up on some stuff. So,
okay.
But here's some tips for you. For those of you who think you can't wake up at early morning, because I'm sure you're about to ask that.
Yeah. Yes.
Here's the tips on how to wake up early. Number 1, what you do the night before is going to determine how well you sleep. Okay? Most of you tend to eat a bunch of shit as your last meal for dinner. Okay? Lots of shit, bread, pasta, cereal, all this shit. And what's happening is when you eat all this high carb shit before you go to bed, you're going to sleep like ass. Okay? Your blood sugar levels are fucked up. You're not going to get the release of growth hormone. You're not going to slip into REM sleep, so you're going to wake up groggy, feeling like shit. So step 1 is your last meal of the day should be just basically protein, vegetables, and then fats. So like avocado, nuts, seeds, things like that. That's it for your last meal of the day. Because if you have anything that is going to elevate your blood sugar levels, you're not going to fucking sleep. You're not going to get your growth hormone, and you're going to feel like shit when you wake up in the morning. So step 1 is to protein, veggies, and fats before bed. Step 2 is the reason why you wake up tired every morning is because you're highly dehydrated, like extremely dehydrated. So what you want to do is you want to put like a protein shaker cup with 20 ounces of water in it with a half a teaspoon of pink salt in it. Put it by your bedside every night. Oh, wait, I forgot something. The other thing that you need to do so you get really good sleep so that way you wake up really rested is take magnesium before bed. And there's only one brand I will tell you to take, and that is the Mega Foods brand. Get it online. You can get it at some of the high-end grocery stores. It's called Mega Food Magnesium. Take 4 to 6 right before bed. Just keep it on your nightstand. Take it before bed. You will sleep like a fucking baby. I kid you not. They're called magnesium dreams. You're going to have the wildest, craziest dreams you've ever had in your life. And it's because you're getting into your deep REM sleep and your subconscious mind is a little crazy. So your dreams are going to be wild. So that's the first 2 things. Don't eat a bunch of high carb shit before bed, and then take your magnesium, and then put a protein shaker cup with salt and 20 ounces of water in it. And then what you do is as soon as your alarm goes off, stand up and put your feet on the ground, stand up and slam that water. Then take your ass to the bathroom, start brushing your teeth. Within a few minutes, you'll be wide awake. Because the water is going to hydrate you. Because one of the reasons why you're so tired is because you haven't had any fluids in 8, 10, 12 hours, depending on what you drank, towards the end of the day as well too. So the reason you're so tired is because you're dehydrated. And when you're dehydrated, it basically slows down all your systems, your energy production, everything slows down. So you wake up, slam that water, and then get moving. And then once that salt gets in your system, you're going to be wide awake because that's electrolytes, and then it's going to help all your cells communicate. Everything's going to be firing better. All your nerves, your muscles, everything's going to be ignited right from the first thing in the morning, and then you're ready to rock.
Man, that's awesome. I just learned something. I take magnesium. I use magnesium spray in place of like deodorant and stuff because of all the aluminum in deodorant. But I didn't know about the magnesium before bed. I talked to a doctor. What kind of doctor was he? I believe he was a gastro a stomach doctor, and he was talking about how virtually almost everyone has a magnesium deficiency.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's because nobody eats any fucking vegetables, man.
Yeah.
They fucking live off fast food, pasta and bread and cereal. Where the fuck are your nutrients? Your nutrients come from plants, okay? And protein, healthy animal proteins. And if you aren't eating these things, you are losing them every single day. And magnesium is responsible for over 350 biochemical reactions in the body.
Wow.
One of them being sleep. The other one is your digestion. The other one is your energy production, your muscle contractions, everything comes from this. So if you're deficient, your body doesn't fucking work.
Wow. That's, man, I know I've done a little bit of research on magnesium. I didn't realize it was that important. I'm definitely going to get the mega foods.
It's the magic mineral, man. That's why I call it the magic mineral. I have all my clients take it. I teach it in my book. Like it's the magic mineral.
So Daymond, what would you say to these people? There's all kinds of different diets. You got 1,000,001 different diets.
Yeah, I believe there's really like 18 to 20,000, some shit like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So here's nutrition simplified, man. Here's nutrition simplified, because you're gonna see all these different things like the ketogenic and all this blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: when it comes to your health and your bodily functions, here's this food simplified. Okay, if it was made by a plant or had a mom, eat it. If it didn't come directly from those two sources, the shit's forbidden. So that means all your fucking bread, your pasta, your Pop-Tarts, your waffles, all your shit that was made in a factory or a farm, or not a farm, but like a restaurant or something, that shit is illegal. It's forbidden. All that's going to do is fuck you up. That's going to make you make less money. Do you want to make less money? Eat bread. Eat pizza. Because you're going to make less money whenever you eat it, because it's going to fuck you up. Because on top of the fact that it's going to deplete your body of nutrients, it's going to spike your blood sugar. Then you're going to crash. Then you're going to have cravings. Then you're going to be craving more shit and eat more shit. It's just a downward cycle from there. On top of that, it creates nutrient deficiencies, like I just said, and inflammation. Now, inflammation's a hot topic. I talk about it all the time, because when you get inflammation, this is when you start getting joint pain, muscle pain. So this is how you get injuries in the gym. You want to get injured? Go eat fucking pizza and then go try and work out. You're going to fucking tear something or pull something or tweak something. So these foods are highly inflammatory. So they basically tear up your gut, which leads to inflammation, but they also inflame your brain. And when your brain is inflamed, then you start getting things like depression. You start getting brain fog. Your brain is a little slow. It's not processing information very well. You know those people. You ever talk to those people where you're trying to have a conversation with them and they're just like 2-3 seconds too slow? It's because they have severe brain fog from all the shit that they've been eating. So their brain is just like delayed. It makes them look stupid as hell. And it's not that they're stupid. Well, technically they are, because they're eating shit. But if you're eating shit, you're stupid. So, but it's because they have brain fog. So that's the simple rule of thumb. If it came directly from a plant or it had a mom, eat it. And the staple for every single meal should be protein and vegetables. Now, depending on your goal and depending on your training and whatever else you're trying to do, you can add fruit in small doses to the end of that, but every single meal should be PVF, okay? Protein and vegetables first.
Okay.
Every meal.
Interesting. So take me really quick. I know you wrote your book, The Shredded Executive, which I have not read yet. I'm going to read this very soon, because I've been able to achieve a lot of things in my life. I'm writing a book as well that's coming out soon, through, creating habits, right? A lot of these books, they talk about setting goals, but they don't show you how. So, I figured out a system to where, I create habits that are linked to the goals that I want. And I have a system of tracking progress and measuring my results, and it, you get into dopamine and all these things. It becomes an addiction of progress. But take me through.
I actually teach.
Go ahead.
I actually teach that in my book too, how to write goals.
Okay. I'd like to see. I'd like to see what you got here.
Because when it comes to getting fit, man, the number one thing that you have to focus on first is your mindset.
Yes.
That's number one. Because if you don't get your mind in check, you're not gonna fucking succeed. your mind has to be the number one thing you train, because if you get that in check, then you'll do the work that is required to succeed with your body. So training your mind is more important than anything.
I'm with you on that one. The mindset controls everything. Like, you can read a book about all the techniques and strategies, you know, but if you don't have that mindset, you're gonna fail flat out. You know, you're not gonna be able to do it.
Exactly.
And so, like, one of the things that I found really fascinating is I study, like, the brain, like how the brain works. When you understand why you want to do something but you can't do it, and you understand how your brain works in that aspect when you were trying to change something, if you're aware of it, now you have power over it. You know.
Exactly.
So that I definitely
awareness is the first step to change.
Yes, very much.
Which is part of the reason why the way that I deliver my message and my style, that's the way it is. Awareness is the first step to change. If you're not aware of what you're doing, then you don't know that you need to change it. I basically bitch slap people with the truth and make them aware, which creates change.
Yes, that's awesome. Could you take me through, you know, like a quick rundown? I know it's not going to be possible to you know, distill everything in your book, and obviously you want people to buy it, but take me through like a quick journey of what people are going to experience if they follow what you're showing them in your book.
A quick thing that you're going to experience in one sentence, you're going to get ripped and rich.
Ripped and rich.
Period.
Yes. I like
period. That's what you're going to get, because it's, like I said, if you follow the plan, because it's written step by step, you're going to get ripped, which is going to lead to you getting rich, because the discipline and the confidence that you're going to get from that is going to transfer to business. So in one sentence, you're going to get ripped and rich.
That's awesome.
So really what I teach in my book, like I just discussed, was I teach people, because the mindset's like the biggest part of it. That's one of the biggest parts of the book, is the mindset of it, and goal setting and stuff like that, because you have to train your mind in order to be able to succeed in this journey, because this is the number one biggest challenge for everybody on the planet is mastering their body. And if you learn to master this, you can master anything. So I go through mindset first, then I teach them all the history and everything about nutrition, why we eat the way we do, all the little tricks and all the little hacks on how to eat. And then we take them through the secrets about training, and then how to train, you know. And I don't believe in cardio, bro. So if you've seen my posts, I talk about cardio. I don't believe in that shit. And I know you're one of my Marine Corps brothers, man. That's all we fucking do in the military, man, is cardio.
Yes.
You know, but I was in the Marine Corps, we ran every day at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, but then we would go hit the gym after. But I believe in cardio, because when it comes to getting your body in shape and maintaining your muscle and keeping your hormone levels high, your testosterone or growth hormone levels high, you need to lift. You need to be doing high intensity stuff, bursts of high intensity work followed by little recoveries, not this cardio that is going to be muscle wasting and ruin your metabolism, because it's wasting your muscle and also ruining your hormones. So we do cardio. But yeah, this is the stuff that I teach in the books, how to get shredded with doing no cardio. Straight lifting.
Wow. Okay.
Lifting at a very, very intense pace.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and buy your book after this interview, because you know, I've been able to drop like 20 something pounds here really quickly myself. But you know, even in the Marine Corps, man, I was down to it. You know how it is in boot camp. Like I was one of the fat kids, right? They gave me half rations, you know. So I came out of boot camp looking like I was malnourished, you know. But even then, I was never ripped the way that, you know, I see, you know, and it's something that I've achieved so many things that I've set my mind on, but this is the one thing that, you know, I have never mastered, right? And so I got to learn from somebody who does it, you know.
It's diet. It's simply 80% of your results when it comes to getting ripped is your nutrition. So once you learn to master that and you start hitting your numbers, like I teach in the book, you hit your numbers every day and you do the work, dude, the side effect is you get ripped. Okay. It just happens. There's no way around it. It just happens. So, And the reason why you were never ripped before is because, for one, you're probably doing a lot of cardio.
Yes.
And your diet was never dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be skinny and still be fat. That's known as skinny fat. That's really common. So you can be thin and still have high body fat levels. So, and it's because, and that's what a lot of people do, man. They go to the gym, they do a shit ton of cardio, they don't really lift that much weights. But think of it like this: when you go to the gym, next time you go to the gym, go during a prime time. When you go to the gym, look at the cardio equipment. Who's all on there? Think about it. On cardio, it's all the fat people.
Oh, yeah.
Look on the weight room floor. Who's on the weight room floor?
Those are the rip. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. So what does that tell you?
Yeah. Do what they do. Yeah.
All the ones on cardio are doing it wrong. All the ones that are lifting are doing it right. So.
And so you have.
So anyway, go ahead.
You have women and men in your classes, right?
Yeah. I train men and women, and they do different workouts.
Okay.
So my women train have a different style than my men do, because as men, we have higher testosterone levels, we have more muscle, so we burn more calories naturally. So my men, they just lift at a really high intense pace,
mm-hmm.
and they just melt calories like crazy. My ladies, they don't burn as much, so they have to actually train harder. So I throw in like a lot of like plyometric type stuff and a lot of like high intensity style moves in with their weights to get their heart rate levels high, so that way they burn more calories during the session.
Okay. It's interesting. So, Daymond, what do you feel sets you apart in business and in life? If you could chalk it up to a few things.
And if I could chop it up to one word, discipline. But really what sets me apart, especially in this industry, is really my delivery. How I deliver my message. I'm like the brash Jillian Michaels with a penis. So, because my style is different than because here's the thing, man. Most trainers in America, they do what I call blow smoke. And that means blow smoke up your ass.
Yeah.
And because they're so afraid of offending people or so afraid of losing clients that they're always trying to be like really overly positive when it's not deserving, right? So they'll be with a client like, oh, you're doing so great. Oh, my God, you're kicking ass. Bitch, you haven't lost a fucking pound in 6 months. You're not doing great. Your fucking diet sucks, and you need to get your shit together because this is unacceptable. That's the difference. See, I don't blow smoke. Yeah. I tell them the truth because I create awareness. I'm not trying to fucking be your friend. I'm trying to get you to where you want to be and make you the best you. And I don't care if I hurt your feelings. I don't care if you cry. I don't care if you get pissed off at me. I don't fucking care. What I care about is that you become your best you. And I don't care how we get there, how many times you got to cry, how many times you got to fall on your face. You're going to fucking get there.
I like that. Yeah.
And that's the difference. And that's the real difference is I'm not afraid to offend people. I'm not afraid to make people upset. And my delivery is different with different people. So like, for instance, like some of my ladies, my delivery style is slightly different. I'm saying the same thing, but with a slightly different method that's getting the point across without me, making them cry on the spot.
Yeah.
Some of my ladies, I just fucking straight yell at them. Because they can handle it. They got type A personalities, they can take it. But for my sensitive ones, I have a different delivery method, but I still say the same thing.
I got you. I mean, people need to hear it. It's just, this thing about offending and just words.
The world is a little too PC and a little too, and let's look at it like this. All these other trainers in the world are very like, they're watching, what they say and how they deliver it. Look how fucking fat America is.
It's ridiculous.
Is it working?
No.
It's not fucking working.
No.
It's not working. The Bob Harpers and all these other little sissy ass trainers, it's not fucking working because they're too nice. They're blowing smoke up people's asses and they're not saying what needs to be said so these people can wake up. Because the thing is, man, is most people are in denial.
Yes.
They don't realize like how fucking terrible they eat. They don't realize how lazy they are. They don't realize how bad they're fucking up. They don't realize they're poisoning their kids until somebody says, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Look at what you're doing. You're fucking up. You need to get your shit together.
Yeah.
Because no one's ever said that to them before.
Yes.
You know? So, and I've actually noticed that people that have this direct approach are starting to become a lot more popular. Like if you look at like, why do you think Donald Trump got fucking elected?
Yeah.
Whether or not you like Donald Trump or not, whether or not you voted, why do you think he got elected?
Yeah.
Because he gets shit done. He's not going to blow smoke up people's asses. He's going to do what he feels is right, you know, and he's not going to be bought like most of these other guys, right? So that's a whole other conversation. But the point is, people respect the direct approach. They may not always like it, but they respect it. You know, when people come to me, they know what they're getting. They come to me for this reason. The reason why I have such high client retention is for this reason, because my people know I'm going to tell them the truth and I'm going to hold them accountable.
So how do you feel about cheat days then? I think I know the answer to that.
Fuck cheat days, bro. Fuck cheat days. Okay. And here's the thing. I used to do cheat days. I used to do it, and I used to teach it and everything. And you know, it was the cheat meal each week, right? I used to do it for years until, and this is why I stopped a few years ago. And this is the other side of this too. And I noticed this even before this issue happened with me. But when people have cheat meals, what do you think they want to eat?
Garbage.
Exactly. What do you think happens when they eat garbage?
A downward spiral, I would imagine.
Exactly. These foods are 8 times more addictive than cocaine. Okay? So bread, pasta, cereal, ice cream, cake, pizza, all this shit, highly, highly, highly addictive. You have one bite, you're going to fucking binge. So that person that has, like, say, goes out on Saturday, like, oh, I've been good so week, I'm going to reward myself with pizza, right? They go eat pizza on Saturday night. Guess what happens Sunday?
Yeah, they eat like garbage.
They just ignited the whole food addiction. And food addiction is a real problem. Okay, these foods are highly addictive. Matter of fact, these foods are designed to be addictive. Designed. Food companies hire these fucking scientists to create addictive products so they can increase their profit margins. They do this shit on purpose.
Yes.
So, anyway, so say someone goes out on Saturday night, has a cheat meal. Okay, they go. What ends up happening is usually that one. As soon as they have that one bite, they tend to binge that whole rest of the night. Then they go to sleep, right? Wake up in the morning. Guess what happens? They have fucking cravings because of what they had last night, like hardcore cravings. So then, guess what they want to do? They want to go eat fucking pancakes, and they want to go somewhere and eat more junk because they're having mad cravings, and it just leads to a downward spiral. And even those who are able to discipline themselves, which is really rare, the ones that are able to stop at just that one meal or that one slice of pizza, it's really fucking rare. I'm talking like 1 out of a million. They're still going to have to battle cravings for the whole rest of that day and for days afterwards. So who the fuck wants to deal with cravings like that all the time? That sucks.
Yeah.
That's a shitty way to live. So anyway, so I used to teach that. Now, a few years ago, this is why I stopped. A few years ago was when the studies for like inflammation and stuff really started to come out. And they started teaching stuff about how these foods were inflammatory and the side effects that they cause and stuff like that, right? They were just starting to come out. I was in Vegas one weekend with my wife. And used to, when we would go to Vegas, usually we'd go to like a buffet like that last day. And I'd eat a little bit of whatever I wanted, you know, it was my cheat meal. And then, but anyway, we were in Vegas, had my cheat meal, right? I had some pizza, some cakes, and some shit like that, right? Didn't even really have that much. The next day, I went to the football field. I actually took my sons with me to go do some sprints and do some conditioning work, right? And I was warming up. And as I was warming up, pop, fucking tore my hamstring.
Oh, no.
Warming up, bro, because my body was inflamed from all the shit I had eaten the day before. Tore my hamstring. I literally fell to the ground and screamed like a little bitch in front of my sons.
Wow.
And they're like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like,
Oh, shit.
And that was when I made, and as soon as I hit the ground, I was like, "Fuck!" I knew exactly what it was, and I'm like, "I'm never eating that shit again."
Wow.
And that was when I vowed, never again. And I have also found, like, over the years, that the number one most injurious foods, pizza and bread, basically foods that have flour, they're way more inflammatory than just sugar alone. So because of the damage they do to your gut. And for example, somebody who goes out and, say one of my clients is weak, right? And they're around pizza and they have a slice of pizza, on Monday when they come train, they're going to get hurt. Fucking fact. Something's going to hurt. The back's going to hurt. The knee's going to hurt. The shoulder's going to hurt. And it's because they're inflamed from those foods. So, and I found that anytime that I have a client that has like an ache or a pain or an issue, I'm like, "What'd you eat this weekend?" And they're like, "I had bread when I went out to dinner with friends." I'm like, "You fucking idiot. I fucking told you this." I know, I'm so stupid. I know you are. Don't do it again. So usually people have to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
You know, and they, you know, tweak something and they have to learn the hard way that, fuck, I can't eat this shit. He was right. That shit is inflammatory. Yes. No one is immune to this shit. No one.
What about sugar, man?
Go ahead.
I know you have a really strong opinion and belief on sugar.
So sugar is America's number one problem. Okay, but on top of that, because studies show that people eat like 150 pounds of that shit a year.
Oh my God.
But on top of that, they also eat around 150 pounds of flour. Now, in case you're not aware, flour, once it touches your tongue, is sugar. Bread, pasta, cereal, pizza, and the moment it touches your tongue, it's sugar to your body. It immediately converts to blood sugar. So it is sugar to your body. So all these things are the number one reason why America's fat and disease. These are the problems with America. It's because this is what America lives off of.
Yes.
This is why everybody's so fat.
Man. Yeah, that's something that people, they see that and they're like, well, because there's not some official, message out there against these things, because obviously these companies are profiting massively off of our ignorance. People,
absolutely,
they see people taking drugs or they hear about heroin and it kills people, right? And so they associate it with something negative. But then because it's allowed in the grocery stores, well, they don't see the danger in it. They don't see that it's it's not that bad.
Don't expect the FDA to save you. They allow ingredients in food that they know cause disease, that they know are our problem. They allow this shit, man. They don't fucking care. So don't expect the government to save you. You got to save yourself.
Yes.
And like I said, if it didn't come directly from a plant, if it didn't have a mom, don't fucking touch it. Because you're only fucking yourself. You're going to get fat. You're going to have cravings. You're going to ruin your productivity. You're going to ruin everything. All because of what? 5 minutes of pleasure?
Yeah.
You just fucked yourself for the whole rest of the day and maybe even the whole week.
Wow. So Dick, have you seen the movie The Matrix before?
Yeah.
So I always ask this question because I like the response I get from people. In that movie, you saw that they could plant things into people's minds, right? She just learned how to fly a helicopter, instantly. So if you had that power, if you could implant one thought into someone's mind, what thought would you implant in their mind?
If I could plant one thought into someone's mind.
Yes.
I would say to plant the thought of constantly seeking self-improvement. I live by that rule. That was actually something that I was taught in the Marine Corps.
Yes.
That was actually, I learned that in the military. My commanding officer, hardcore motherfucker, he said that to me one time, and it stuck. And I've been living by it ever since. And that's, if people just focused on constantly improving themselves, improving their nutrition, improving their training, improving their personal development, improving their parenting skills, their marriage, and everything. If you just constantly seek self-improvement, I don't care how fucking great you are, you can always be 10 times better.
Yes.
Always. I don't care how fucking awesome you are, you could always be better.
Yes.
So I think that if people use that and just constantly seek self-improvement, their lives would be so fucking incredible. Their happiness, their relationships, their businesses, they would all thrive.
Okay. Yeah, man, I stand for that as well. I believe that. It wasn't until I started doing personal development myself, I became hooked, right? I read one book and then it changed my entire life, which was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And now I spend about 35 hours a week in teaching in teaching myself something, learning, reading, training. That's like almost a full-time job, but I can't, the me now to the me 2 years ago, it's like unrecognizable, and it's become so amazing to be able to know that, hey, where I'm at now is not where I have to be, and I can go anywhere I want if I work on myself, if I learn,
Exactly. And that is something that I didn't start doing personal development until I was like in my late 20s. And I just turned 38 last week, and I was about 28 when I started it.
Wow.
And I didn't really even take it real serious until about maybe 6 years ago.
Okay.
Was it 7 years ago? Was when I really started taking it serious. But the first book that I ever read that completely changed my life forever is The Success Principles by Jack Canfield.
Oh, yes.
That book fucking changed my life forever. And mainly because if you do the exercises that he has lined out in it from start to finish, oh my God, it completely just flipped a switch in my brain, completely transformed me. And ever since then, I've just been like, I'm constantly looking for new books and constantly looking for new information and looking for new articles that, highly successful people recommend and things like that. But that one is the one that really like changed my life. So for those of you who haven't read that book, read that book and do the exercises that he lists out from section 1 all the way through, because he has you doing a lot of written stuff, but do that. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, the last person I interviewed she mentioned that book as well. She works, she's got a TV show with Grant Cardone TV, and she mentioned that exact book. So that's definitely, they're going to hear that twice. Like, yeah, go get that book now.
Obviously, it fucking works.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Jack Canfield is the guy who did Chicken Soup for the Soul. And if you listen to his story about how that came to be, the man, I mean, it's just amazing, amazing story.
He was actually on The Secret. That's actually how I found him.
Yes, me too.
That was actually the first time I got ever introduced to personal development was watching the movie The Secret.
Wow.
And all those people that were on the movie, I immediately started researching them and buying their books.
Yes.
Because I just loved what they were saying, like John Assaraf and Jack Canfield and like all those other people and Brian Tracy and all those people. I immediately started doing research and looking for their books because I'm like, I want to learn more.
Yeah.
And that was how it all began, was from that movie.
That's funny you mentioned that, because I've been on a basically a month-long binge on listening to The Secret, on listening to The Science of Getting Rich. There's a program and a book that Bob Proctor, who was also in The Secret, who was one of my favorites. I've been just devouring, instead of reading, because I've read like 100 books in the last year, and I set a goal to read like 300, but I realized like, no, I need to get these ideas in my head. So I've just been listening and studying the same material over and over and over.
Exactly. I like to listen. I like to do mine like 3 to 5 times.
Yeah. So
I even teach people for that. I tell people that in my book.
Okay.
Read this motherfucker at least 3 times.
Okay.
Because you're going to pick up something different every single time.
Yes.
Because your brain is going to be in a different state. And what you're going to pick up and remember, you're going to basically learn more every single time, because you're going to have forgotten something or be reminded of something. And every time that you read it, you're going to get something more out of it. Like I've listened to Grant Cardone's books. Like every time I'm feeling like, you know what, I want to fucking crush it this month, I turn on a Grant Cardone book.
Yes.
Audio.
Yeah, he's
Put
awesome.
on like 10X or Sell or Be Sold or like something like that, and then I'm like, all right, I'm in it.
Yeah, very, very true. The way I could explain it, and the person who made me understand it was Bob Proctor. He has this. It's free. You can go on YouTube and look it up. It's called "You're Born Rich." It's from his book. It's a seminar. It's really old looking, but the information in there is like it's gold. And so I've watched that 3 or 4 times. There's like 6 parts to it. It's pretty long, but he explains why you read those things and put them in your head over and over. The way he explains it, he says, like, imagine you're in a high-rise building and you're facing east. And he's like, look out the window and tell me what the view is, right? So you look out the window and you can explain the view. And then go up another floor. Okay, you go to the next floor and go to the same east side. Explain the view.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's just a
like
little
that.
bit different. It's just a little bit different. And then you keep going up another level. Explain what you see. It's a little different. And eventually, you're going to get to the roof. Okay, and at the roof, you're going to still be on that east side. But now, what do you see? You can see all around you. You see it's totally different. And that's how, when he said that, I was like, holy crap, that's why you read things over and over. Because every time I would listen to this, it was like I was hearing something for the very first time. And it was like such a life-changing, like, I don't know about you, but when you're really in that zone of personal development, and you're listening to something and you're getting a lot of value, you have this there's a feeling to it. There's this, I can't even explain it.
Well, on top of that, you may be in a different part of your life or business where what is being taught has more of a meaning to you at that moment.
Yes.
You may be hearing section 1, today, and it really you're not really thinking about it. It's not really helping you where you are at today in your life. But in a month from now, you may be in a situation where that chapter 1 is saying everything you need to hear. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it just depends on where you are in life, is what you're basically going to pick up and absorb from it. Okay, I have a quote. So it was Brian Tracy that said this, that, oh, wait, that was actually for the goals. I actually got them confused. But anyway, so there's a quote that Brian Tracy says that those who write down their goals accomplish 1,000% more than those who don't. Think about that.
I fully believe that.
I love that quote.
Yes.
Anyway, but personal development is everything, man. I'm with you on that. So for those of you who are listening, if you're not working on your personal growth and matter of fact, this is something you could be doing at 4 a.m. Get up and read for 30 minutes every morning, but you need to be improving yourself, because as you improve, everything in your life improves. As you come up a level, your life comes up a level. It all begins with you.
Yes.
Because it's all about how you think and how you behave and the actions that you take.
I agree with that. I run into people who say, I'm a part of some entrepreneur groups, and some of them in the group say, oh, I can't, I don't like to read. And I'm like, man, like everything that you want is on that other side.
Yep. So if you don't like to read, fine, do audiobooks. Exactly. I do most of my books on audio. So turn your car into a rolling university. Yes. So that's what I do. I don't listen to the radio. I listen to audiobooks. Like right now I'm listening to The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins.
Oh, that's
have you read that one?
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I saw her speak at a seminar live. So
so I'm listening to that one right now. So that one's a great one too. But car into a rolling university. You can even do it. Put headphones on while you're at the office. I do that sometimes too. When I'm working on my computer, I'll just put my headphones on and just listen to a book while I'm working. And my subconscious will be picking up whatever it is that I'm looking for in life. Whatever it feels I need, whatever issue I may be having, whatever area I need to improve, my subconscious is going to pick it up. So sometimes while I'm working, I'll just put my headphones on and listen to some audiobooks. Sometimes when I'm working out, I even turn on some personal development books as well too.
Yeah, that's how I do it. When I go on my workouts in the morning, I'm always listening to something. It's just I can get two things done. You're working on a goal of, hey, I need to work out today, and I'm getting some feeding my mind, because people don't feed their minds. You know, they'll feed their face, but they don't feed their minds, and that's a really big thing that I see people. They're just not willing to do it, or they're not aware of the power. You know, they tell them to read a book, and they're like, "How's a book going to change my life?" Man, all the secrets to life are in books, man.
Dude, everything you could ever want to, somebody's already done it.
Yes.
Everything you could ever want to do, somebody's already mastered it.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is just learn how they did it. Follow the same trail, you end up in the same location.
Yes.
All you got to do is it's already been done. All you got to do is learn how to do it and do the work.
Yes. Yeah, and that's why I'm going to actually go ahead and make that purchase of your book, because I definitely want to. I definitely see what you got going on. I want to understand what you teach, and I definitely want some better, higher end results on my fitness side.
It's a system, man.
Yeah.
It's a system, man. I have it set up as a system. All you do is follow the plan. You get ripped and rich. Period.
Yes. Yes. So, how can people find you?
The best way to find me is social media.
Okay.
If you're on Instagram, my handle on Instagram is Superhero Strong. Facebook under my name, Daymond Sewall. Or if you want to get into contact with me, you can message me on either one of those, preferably Facebook, because I don't really answer my messages on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I also have a podcast as well too, called Shredcast.
What is it called?
So it's on iTunes and Stitcher. Shredcast.
Shredcast.
So, yeah, so I have a podcast too, so you can find me on there. But if you really want to contact me, message me on Facebook or on my email, which is phenomoc@gmail.com. So PHENOMOC@gmail.com.
Okay, cool. And how do people get a hold of your book?
My book. For my book, go to Live Shredded 365, so 365 days a year, teaching you the secrets. So liveshredded365.com.
Okay, awesome.
There's a men's and women's version. The women's version, just like I was talking about earlier, how my women train different. They obviously have to eat different. The women's version has theirs. The guys has theirs.
Okay.
And that's the audio and the full book.
Cool. So, I mean, man, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Thank you for your time today and sharing those insights with us. Is there any last thing you want to share with everyone before we get out of here?
Man, there's a lot of things I could share, but I'll tell you this. Rule number 1 for your success with your body and in life, eat real food. Mm-hmm. Number 2, do the fucking work.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
DTFW.
That's what that means. I saw that and I didn't know what that meant. Cool. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll see a lot of my followers, they post that a lot, and the DTFW hashtag, that's what that means. That means they're doing the fucking work.
Nice. Nice. This is Daymond Sewall, ladies and gentlemen, on the Crucible Strategic podcast. I hope you guys found value in this. Until next time, shoot for the stars and be better than you were yesterday. This is Albert Polanco signing out. Peace.